Loneliness is one of the quietest struggles a person can have. It doesn't leave bruises. It doesn't make loud noises. It doesn't announce itself. It just sits there, silently, growing. You can be surrounded by people and still feel it. You can have followers, classmates, co-workers, even family around you, and still feel completely unseen. That is the danger of loneliness. It hides in plain sight. Imagine this. You wake up. You grab your phone. You scroll for 30 minutes. You see everyone living their lives. Friends hanging out. Couples laughing. People celebrating milestones. And then you look around your room. It's quiet. You tell yourself it doesn't matter. You say you enjoy your own company. But deep down, something feels empty. That emptiness, over time, becomes normal. And that is when loneliness starts changing you. When loneliness stays too long, it begins to distort your thoughts. You start believing that you are not interesting enough, not attractive enough, not important enough. You replay conversations in your head. You overthink small interactions. You assume people secretly dislike you. For example, you send a message. They don't reply for hours. Your mind immediately says, "See, you don't matter." But the truth could be simple. They're busy. They're tired. They forgot. Loneliness turns neutral situations into personal rejection. And the longer it stays, the more convincing it becomes. It affects your confidence. You stop sharing your ideas because you assume no one cares. You stop inviting people because you expect them to say no. You stop trying to connect because rejection feels safer than effort. Think about the guy who wants to join the gym but feels like everyone will judge him, so he never goes. Think about the girl who wants to speak in class but stays silent because she feels invisible, so no one ever hears her thoughts. Think about the friend who wants to open up about feeling depressed, but jokes instead because vulnerability feels risky. Loneliness slowly shrinks your world. It makes you choose isolation over possibility. And here is the most dangerous part. Humans are not built for isolation. We are wired for connection. Studies show that prolonged loneliness affects the brain similarly to physical pain. It increases stress. It weakens your immune system. It impacts your sleep. It even increases the risk of anxiety and depression. Your body reacts to loneliness as if it is under threat. Because on a biological level, being alone used to mean danger. Now we live in a world where you can be digitally connected 24 hours a day, yet emotionally disconnected for years. You can post a picture and get 100 likes, but still have no one to call when you are breaking down at 2 a.m. That is not connection. That is performance. And performance cannot cure loneliness. Only real human connection can. Some people say, just be strong alone. And yes, solitude can build strength. Solitude is when you choose to be alone to grow, to think, to improve. But loneliness is different. Loneliness is when you feel unwanted. When you feel excluded, when you feel like no one truly sees you. One empowers you, the other slowly drains you. And if you stay in loneliness too long, you start building walls. You convince yourself, I don't need anyone. But the truth is, you were hurt. So you protected yourself. Protection is natural, but permanent isolation is not healing. Connection does not make you weak. It makes you human. Even the strongest leaders, the most successful entrepreneurs, the toughest athletes, have support systems. They have mentors, friends, partners, communities. No one rises completely alone. So how do you begin curing loneliness? You do not wait for someone to magically appear. You become brave. You take small risks. You send that message first. You join that club. You accept that invitation. You start that conversation. You say, hey, can we talk? Yes, it feels uncomfortable. Yes, it feels vulnerable. But most people are lonelier than they admit. They are also waiting for someone else to make the first move. Be that someone. And understand this clearly. Curing loneliness does not mean having hundreds of friends. It means having 1 or 2 real connections. One person who listens. One person who understands. One person who checks in. That is enough to change everything. Because when you are connected, your confidence grows. Your ideas expand. Your motivation increases. You feel supported. You feel seen. You feel alive. Loneliness shrinks your world. Connection expands it. You deserve to be known. You deserve to be understood. You deserve to belong. Do not let loneliness convince you otherwise. Do not get comfortable in isolation. Do not let silence become your identity. Reach out. Speak up. Show up. Because your life was never meant to be lived alone. And the moment you choose connection, you begin to heal.